You're back with another one. This time we got top 10 epic anime rematches. Or top 10 anime. Y'all know what it is. Make sure y'all like the video, comment, subscribe. Let's get in it.
Sometimes, first encounters or previous fights just aren't enough to resolve issues. Rematches can sometimes be a better fight than their first encounter, as the characters are usually much stronger, better developed as characters, and can also air out many pent-up emotions. Before we get to the video,
I always
I would like
love
to
that they
introduce
use
you all to
Dragon
an
Ball
amazing
Super.
upcoming
They use Dragon Ball Super music. Gonna have to just skip this. They ain't paying me. I mean, they could be, but I just probably haven't
This
seen it.
Minotaur's drive
The
for
email
rematch
yet.
was so strong that he was reborn just for that purpose.
Ooh.
And despite the heavy injury he still charged towards Bell, unlike their first encounter, Asterios is far stronger and smarter this time. In fact, a single roar was sufficient to stop the surrounding warriors from interfering their reunion. This was also a signal to announce that Bell is the only worthy opponent for him. Despite Bell's courageous efforts against a heavily wounded Minotaur, Bell still wasn't strong enough to win this time. Luckily, Asterios had no intention of taking Bell's life, but rather to level the playing field with one win and one loss. Now, they can have one final round in the future to determine the true victor.
Damn, so he got folded. Okay.
Archer and Lancer finally have their rematch, and this time they are unrestricted and can fully showcase their power. Cruz is arguably one of the strongest servants in the series, but Archer wasn't an easy opponent himself. Both powerful servants used everything in their arsenal to put up an amazing fight with visually stunning animation, as expected from Ufotable. When it comes to animation quality alone, this fight would easily rank number one. It was a close fight, and the finishing clash between their signature moves was an epic moment. Archer barely managed to win, and it's his experience and resourcefulness in combat that tipped the balance towards his victory.
Okay. Okay. I didn't count their first one as a fight, so that's why I was just
Crocodile
like,
was an
that was a
incredibly
stomp. It was
powerful
not a fight.
antagonist, especially due to his seemingly undefeatable sand powers. The versatility and abilities of his devil fruit powers were also so great that he completely destroyed Luffy in their
I was also gonna say something about that last Fate fight, but I already forgot it. I'm tired. I've been working a lot. I've been moving a lot. I've been active. I've barely gotten any sleep. So if I say something extremely stupid in these next couple of days, that's why. Extremely stupid. Like, bruh, like what? Like, just bear with me.
first two encounters. Although, not all was in vain, as Luffy did improve with every encounter and had
Luffy.
finally discovered Crocodile's weakness: water. This was the cheapest alternative available at a time when Haki was still unknown. Luffy's resilience and willpower to use his own blood to substitute for water was a badass moment, and also makes it one of the smarter battles of One Piece. He
That's
finally
true.
manages
That's
to
true.
defeat this almighty
Use his
opponent
own
in
blood.
his third encounter, and made sure to keep his promise with Vivi of sending Crocodile flying.
Imagine episode like 1502. He pulls out the star again, the Gum Gum star. Like everybody like, oh, he brought it back. You know, all the One Piece fans will
These
rejoice.
rivals may be on different sides, but heavily respected each other.
Also, Crocodile is easy food for Luffy now. Easy. If they were to rematch again, Luffy will body him. Like he knows hockey, like bodied, straight bodied. It's not even close. Crocodile think he's got a chance because you know he's like, yeah, I'm Crocodile. I'm big shit. Luffy just come in and punch him straight in the face with Gear Fourth. He's just gone. He's just gone. All his sand is gone. It's just a little couple of particles. He looked like he looked like the dude from Yu-Gi-Oh, Merrick. With just the eye. Yeah, that's what it's gonna look like. at the end, and that eye's gonna be bleeding.
Alucard especially respected the humanity in Anderson. But in this final showdown, Anderson gave up his humanity in exchange for a seemingly greater power to take down this walking castle of an enemy. Unfortunately, Anderson's obsession for power blinded him from what he already had. A vampire stake through the heart by a miracle of God, wielded by a human, would eradicate it, and yet Anderson now lacks the very humanity needed. In fact, this saddened Alucard more than his rival. Anderson may have put up an epic show in this final battle, but the minute he rejected his humanity, he lost any way of defeating Alucard. He puts an end to the rival he respected most.
Man, I wish I knew what they said just then. Oh my gosh.
This fight is considered
I'm not
to be
gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That knockout, I don't even know if it was the second one. I just remember that knockout, Sendo ate and just kept fighting. And then sat on the thing just like ready to kill. And the announcer came over, or the ref came over, was like, "Hey, Sendo, it's time to go." And then he's like, "Hey, bro, Sendo's out cold." But Sendo's still sitting there like, bro, that brought chills. I was like, "Oh, Sendo a badass."
Best fights of the series, a title fight between two boxers fighting on the same level. Ippo has never come across an opponent that could survive his destructive power, while Sendo was unmatched in his region of Japan, which is what made their rivalry all the more intense. Their first encounter left both boxers yearning for a lot more from each other, establishing a new goal of defeating their new rival, coupled with the fact that they are both so early on in their boxing careers, making this fight far more significant for them. The result was an adrenaline-filled fight as they unleashed their fists in a beautifully choreographed fight with the perfect soundtrack.
So it was their first one, because that's how the second one ended.
Ichigo's first encounter completely shattered his confidence in himself, to an extent whereby his inner hollow was mocking him. Ichigo was nothing more than a punch bag at the time. However, these two are surprisingly similar in certain aspects. Both are reckless and irreverent and enjoy the occasional good fight. Despite being on opposing teams, they respected each other's strength to such an extent they ignored their main mission just to have their rematch. When it was time for their rematch, both their power levels were almost evenly matched, making this bout far more entertaining than the first. A tough battle, but our protagonist manages to steal the win thanks to a well-timed motivational cry from a side character.
Bleach pissed me off because Ichigo kept having those power-ups. And then the next fight after he needed that power-up, he needed another power-up. It's like, bro, come on, dog. Just get progressively stronger. You don't need another power-up. It's like training didn't do shit for him. So he needed just another power-up that he got from training. But it's like, you can also just get better, get stronger from training. I don't understand why they just couldn't visually represent that. Like, you don't need a just power jump from that. Everyone just got so much stronger than Ichigo. Like, every time he needed another power up. I don't understand. Up until Aizen, actually. Aizen was understandable. He needed a power up. But like, other than that, like, bro, just train. Like, he can literally train, get better as things progress. But I guess they just didn't know how to show that in Bleach.
Attack on
What do you say
Titan
there?
has several rematches, but one of the more memorable ones was Eren's encounter against the female Titan. In their first encounter, the female Titan completely overwhelmed Eren with her hand-to-hand skills, and no amount of rage was enough to overcome a well-trained Titan. Eren's strategy didn't change much from their first encounter, he just increased the level of rage this time. However, his berserk state did appear to be slightly more effective than in their first fight. Despite the desperate, rage-filled chase, the female Titan still proved to be the superior Titan, as she managed to escape Eren's grasp. Luckily, the other Survey Corps members were around to provide a helping hand this time, to finally take down this formidable foe.
Attack on Titan makes so much more sense. I can see that's my hero right there. Attack on Titan makes so much more sense that like now that more things are explained. Before it just I was so pissed off, like I was annoyed that things were not being explained for so long. It was like years passed and I was like, okay, y'all could explain a little bit, like the biggest thing was what's in Aaron's basement. That was like 3 years. I was waiting for that answer. Like I didn't care anymore. And then like it was just like, bro, like can y'all at least like give me a hint or like progression towards the questions that are being arisen?
The first fight between these two aspiring heroes was to simply prove each other's worth, whereas their rematch held far more importance for their character development. It was a means of venting out their bottled up emotions of all the pain, resentment, and guilt. Bakugo not only acknowledges Deku's strength, but also the possibility of him surpassing him, especially with the confirmation of the origins of Deku's quirk. This, coupled with the sense of responsibility he feels towards All Might's retirement, fueled his desire to fight. On the other hand, Deku didn't want to fight the one he admires, but realizes it's the only way to help Bakugo air out his feelings. The fight eventually ends with a close victory to Bakugo. But the real conclusion was the resolution to their pent-up feelings to each other, and towards All Might.
What does Deku's sub voice sound like? Because I'm be honest with you, the dub in My Hero is really good, but Deku has the weakest like he doesn't have a weak voice, but it's like the acting is great, but it's just like I don't know.
This was the long-awaited rematch between one of the most iconic rivals in the world of anime. However, this wasn't simply a battle to test out who is the stronger warrior, but had a surprising amount of depth. These two characters have come a long way since their first encounter, but along the way, Vegeta has received...
Before we get too deep in this, if somebody watched both sub and dub My Hero, let me know which voice you like better. I'm not gonna change which I'm watching. I'm stuck with dub because I'm already this deep in like watching dub, but like, just let me know which do you guys think is better, the sub Deku or dub Deku. I know I did sub and then like moved it over and then dub, but you know what I meant.
multiple wounds to his pride as the Saiyan Prince. The only way to rectify the emotions of humiliation is to defeat his rival once and for all.
That's disrespectful.
What, clown? Are you feeling angry, humiliated? Is that it?
To achieve this, he went as far as allowing possession over him to finally have the rematch he desired. The revelation that Goku had a Super Saiyan 3 form but held back was an additional surprise to this fight. The fight didn't really have a conclusion, but the importance of this fight was their connection and development as individuals.
Fool! You don't know what humiliation is!
Yeah, because it is kind of disrespectful. He really didn't. He could have rocked his shit, but he chose not to, and just to
longest
save it for
recovery
later.
arc in anime has come to an end, and this rematch was a great conclusion to Naruto. The fight itself is reminiscent of their first fight.
Longest recovery arc. Don't tempt One Piece. They will do it. They will lose Sanji or lose Nami or something and go on for 6 years trying to get her back. Don't do it. Don't test them.
Exact same location.
I feel like Oda is
This
a
time,
special
they
type
have
of
grown
petty. Like he will do that. He was like,
mentally
bet.
and physically. They are the two most powerful ninjas in existence now, and as expected, they put up a grand
Because they did
fight
already
with
lose Sanji.
techniques that could
Technically, they already
restructure
lost
the
Nami.
landscape itself.
Usopp, there we go.
Perfect
He's
amount of
nope. They already lost
flashbacks were
Usopp.
weaved into the
Got him
fights
back too.
to add that extra depth
Robin
to this
too.
finale. After
Zoro can't leave.
exhausting
He
their
the first.
chakra
Nah.
and blowing off each other's arms, they kept fighting with just their remaining willpower. And the
Chopper,
victor at
there we
the
go.
end
I won't miss
was
Chopper.
Naruto's will of fire.
If he's gone for 6 years, I'll be cool. I won't miss Chopper at all.
If you enjoyed that,
I didn't even talk about Naruto at all. I was talking about One Piece through the Naruto fight. Oh, either way, it was cool. It was a good fight. It was a great fight. It was interesting. I actually kind of enjoyed the Storm, like playing through Storm, like that fight, the final fight in Storm 4, more than I enjoyed watching it. But I hope y'all enjoy. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.